Good day, good day, good day. This is Mr. Anderson. I just had a real great conversation with the driver. Actually, they were having a conversation, and she was talking about how I don't know if it was her sister. It was her sister, because she said their dad, but how she was like that her and her sister were together and they're always together. And now that they live separate lives, they've seen their growth within themselves because they pretty much leaned upon each other to for guidance. And then she said they also would talk to their dad, but their dad would dads, a man gonna come from a different perspective when it comes to certain things. Men, to me, real men are in a mode of protection. We're about protecting our family, building them up. So anything, especially when it comes to our daughters, even our children in general, you're going to want to build them up. You want to be able to be the protector, yet you don't know how, because we come from, it's fear, the something that could happen to our children. But anyway, she just was talking about that. And then she said something about it was a married couple, that she said that she has a relationship with. She's like, she really don't think that relationship is going to last because they don't value who she is, and she has to be fake and stuff like that. And stuff like that. She was like, she just really don't see, she enjoys them, but she says she don't think the relationship would last last long. So I was like, I'm sorry. I told her, I was like, I'm sorry. Just hearing what you said. I wish I could have recorded. That was some deep shit that I said. Excuse my French, but that was some deep stuff that I said. And what I was saying, I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. I was saying how, that's what I say, sometimes stuff is coming out of my mind, out of my mouth, that it's not coming from me. It's coming from me. It's coming from my higher self. The sun. It's coming from my higher self. And ignore the glare. It's coming from my higher self. And I was saying, I was like, well, a lot of people hide their fears because they don't have a purpose. They don't know purpose. They don't understand. They don't have a purpose. So they hide their fears in that stuff. And on top of that, and when I say that, a purpose, because once you have a purpose, you know how to align yourself with certain things and with certain people. You won't let certain people distract you out of your purpose or your being. You're going to continue your purpose, and you can have people in your have relationships with people that really don't feed your purpose, yet they respect it. They're going to respect it because you stand on business. You stand on your purpose. But you can still get something from those people. So that's why I was like, a lot of people don't have purpose, or they don't have direction, or don't have thoughts. And they're fearful. So whenever someone challenges that fear, whenever someone challenges that, challenge them or try to help them, they get defensive. They don't want to be accountable because it's hard to be accountable. It's hard to look at yourself in a lens, especially in this day and age. And these are the things I was saying. It's hard to look at yourself because we're so distracted, and everything is now AI generated and fake, and we don't have emotions, we don't have feelings, we're just numb because we don't have purpose. We don't have purpose in our life. Yeah, it might be simple purpose. The main purpose is your family, your children, and stuff like that. But yet we don't have purpose outside of that. And so that we live in a place where we don't actually do for ourselves. These things hurt my face. But anyway, so it just it was just curious hearing that and how she was. And that's where I say, man, we really got to control our thoughts. And I told her about the whole, your product and your environment. That's where it starts. You have to do that. And then she was like, what I was telling her was like, it sounds like y'all got comfortable with the dad's opinion that you can't see for yourself, or you don't understand for yourself. So you have to change that thinking. And then she was saying, well, yeah, people are just easily sucked in through social media. I was like, yeah, and they're comfortable. I was like, yeah. And I went to that in the Matrix, where the guy wanted to get back in the Matrix. This was easy. He wanted to taste the steak. He didn't want to do the thing that he was supposed to do. He didn't want to challenge it. He wanted the easy way. And people get stuck in that easy way that they lose sight of who they are. And then that's when you start pouring in all these different, that's when all these different things start happening that, you don't want to deal with, or you can't deal with, or but I'm thinking as I'm going, it just you get stuck in that, and you want to go back in the Matrix. That's why it's rare. That's why the Neo, the Mr. Anderson, is rare. It's only a few that can get out that system. And I'm not saying there's nothing bad about that. It's whatever floats your boat, whatever it is what you want to do. But you got to understand what that does. You're creating a cycle. You don't have to do the full Monty and do the whole thing. You can do parts of it, because you want to stop some certain cycles from continuing to happen, especially that energy with your children, your children or your family or friends. You want to kind of stop that cycle from happening. But like I said, it is what it is. It's just my thoughts and my opinion. Everybody is different. Everybody goes through life differently. And I understand that. I get it. I just want the best for everybody. And I know that sometimes the best is hard to get. It's hard to get. You get discouraged. You get you get those endorphins that hit because you've seen a beautiful post, or you go to church and you hear the preacher preach and it was a beautiful sermon. So you get that quick endorphin spike that gives you that high. But what actually did you get? It's just a temporary fix. It's a temporary drug. It's a temporary feeling. It's a temporary sensation, and that's what pulls you back into that Matrix, that pod. That's what I told her. I said that pod. That's what pulls you back in that pod, is that temporary fix, that temporary fix. My bad. That temporary fix. That's what pulls you back into that pod. That's what pulls you back into that temporary fix. So, it was really deep. It was really, 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 really deep. And they were like, wow, thank you for your words. You're a very rare, wise man. And man, you got me thinking and got my brain going and wondering, because she was young, going, I don't know where they were going, but young, and she was still trying to figure out her life and where she belongs and her growth. And then she actually attest to what I said. She was like, man, yeah, I do sometimes get caught up in that quick spike of, I did it, but I really didn't do nothing, because I just seen a post on Facebook, or I seen a scripture, or I seen a somebody told me something funny, and that stuff lasts for a day. But then once reality hit, you're back to square one. So, that's why I would say it's very important for you and your thoughts to choose wisely, choose purpose, understand your purpose. This goes back to that, your purpose, your mind and your thoughts and your thinking, and, aligning yourself with your higher self. And like I said, it's not going to be for everybody. Yet it is for everybody. I take that back. It is for everybody, but everybody has certain levels of it that they can get to and go. That's just like a job. Certain people are better off just being the employee. Some people are, I mean, not the employee, but the at one level, the clerk. And some people are better at being management. Some people like to take the risk. Some people like just simplicity. And it's whatever in your life, at whichever stage you're up. But in that, you can still have purpose. You can still have joy. You can still have truth. You can still have a thinking mind, a purpose of what can I do? What can I do differently? How can I pass on what I can to my children, my grandchildren, or just a stranger, or just, someone riding in a car, or someone I sitting next to at the bus station, or in a restaurant, at the bar, whatever. It's like, man, we don't value. I've said this before. I think we've lost track of what is truly needed to be valued, and that has value. Well, really, truly is valued. Do we need to value? I said it wrong. We've lost track of what we need to have value of, and a lot of that is our minds and our thoughts and our being, and then then our family and our friends, and just being that image of God, what we have in our mind. Whichever religion you're in, that peace that you have. So that it was really a deep, like I was speaking, I was like, wow, like I'm actually saying this, because it's stuff that I believe in, and I'm thinking, that I thought, that it's just my higher self speaking, and I'm getting closer and closer to being that my higher self, my full self. I'm getting closer and closer to that, and I'm realizing my strength, and I know my purpose. My purpose is to be resourceful, is to be a resource, and that's what I want to do. That's what I'm trying to do. That's where my business mind lies, in helping people establish, whether it's a child growing up or a Fortune 500 company. I want to be able to be a resource to help growth, attain accountability, attain assets, obtain forward movement, infinite forward movement in life. We're going to go back every once in a while, but yet understanding, me going back is nothing bad. It's me. Maybe that's something that I had to learn. I need to learn now, that I have to learn now. I ain't gonna be on here long, man. I can go on all day about this. I love it. I love it. I love who I'm becoming. I can't wait to see when I put all this stuff together, and when I start the business, and when I start doing the things that I want to do, and trading and business, and man, I'm in a whole new mindset now, man. Y'all stay attuned. I know they always say like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share with a friend. Y'all enjoy this road with me. Enjoy this road with me, man. Let's grow together. Let's shift together. Let's find purpose together. Let's build together. Let's do it, man. Just like, I'm here. I'm stuck in it because I got my children. I got my babies that need me. And like I said, this is for them. This is for the ones that really need it. Even the ones that don't need it. It's here for when you do need it. So that being said, this is Mr. Anderson, and I approve this message. Deuces.